And we are back in Inside the Show. I'm Scuffy, he's Cougs, and we're starting from the rip. We know what today's episode's going to be about, right? We ended off last episode with the Player of Month predictions. Let's just say it wasn't who we expected because we both went with Jose Ramirez. We got a little, I would say bombshell, but a little shock throughout the community when this name dropped. Not saying he didn't have a good month, but we got Lightning Anthony Rizzo. Before we get into the grind here, Cougs, initial thoughts of the Rizzo, because that was a big topic on Friday and probably throughout the weekend, just based on that choice of a Lightning card. So before we get into everything else, let's just hear what was that first impression like for you?
I mean, it was just surprising.
Oh.
Like, because like you said, we both predicted J-Ram. And in my head, Thursday morning before noon rolled around, I'm thinking, okay, like when I make this debut video in a couple hours with this J-Ram card, is there anything I want to touch on? So I'm like brainstorming all these things. And then I see Anthony Rizzo come out of the gates, and I'm like, this is different. This is not J-Ram. So yeah, I was really shocked. I expected Anthony Rizzo to get a card in this program. I just didn't expect it to be the Lightning, because I could be wrong because I don't remember every single player of the month over the past 2 years, but I think this is the first card in the past 2 years that got the Lightning card that didn't actually win either player or pitcher of the month. Like I said, I could be wrong about that, but that's kind of the direction I thought they were going, which is why I think both of us kind of thought it was going to be Jose Ramirez, but I guess not anymore. But yeah, it was surprising. I don't think Rizzo is a bad card. I think he's really solid, especially you got to use him and use his swing. His swing is very good.
Yeah.
It was just, it kind of caught me off guard a little bit.
It did. Same here. It caught me off guard, and it just made me think initially, how many first baseman cards we already have in the game. Yes, this Rizzo is probably better than these cards, but we already have like Poppy. We had the variety of first baseman cards already out there, so that's why it surprised me, I guess. But then again, you got to think of all the players, not just like us content creators or us diehards that already maybe have collections done where they had the Frank Thomas or they could put other cards up toward that level there. If you're a player that's just been playing, just grinding out what you have, maybe the closest you have, probably Josh Bell, unless you put like, say, Cody Bellinger, but that's 20 less power than the Rizzo has. So I understand like how people could be excited, which they should be excited about this card. But me personally, I mean, when I looked at it, I did nothing. I did no grinding. I didn't feel like grinding for it because it didn't feel like I want to use my time of playing this game where I'm kind of limited. I don't have all the time in the world to play this game, whether that's from work or just, family stuff and stuff like that. So I kind of dedicate my time to do certain things, even with the Switch. And I just felt like it wasn't worth my time. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. It just, I saw the card. I was like, okay, I feel like I could play with someone better that maybe not have the best, like better attributes that Rizzo has and be just fine. Here I'm saying this when I don't really play with my goon squad as is in ranked, and I really don't plan to, but I'm just trying to put myself in the seat. Like, all right, I have these cards. I know I could do well with these cards. Is it worth putting this so many hours into this grind? And before we get to that, I kind of want to go through all of the players beforehand, and then I'll ask you about the grind since you've done it and what you like about it, and maybe what you don't like compared to other years.
Mhm.
But I don't want to get into that just yet. But yeah, I mean Rizzo. I let's say Buxton's definitely better from last year if we're comparing April, right?
Yeah, and it's a good thing you bring up Buxton because obviously Buxton was a 95, whereas Rizzo is a 92. Now, I think if
Yes.
they would have stuck with that 95 overall Lightning for April, I think that would have been J-Ram. But the fact that
Mhm.
they made the Lightning a 92 when J-Ram just went up to a 91, that may have influenced the decision of
Yeah.
Anthony Rizzo. That's the only thing I can really think of that makes it, make sense to me. But anyway, yeah. Um, Definitely Buxton's better. I mean, Buxton has just got more tools, plain and
Yeah.
simple. He's got the speed, he's got the fielding, he's got the bat, he's got, everything. Buxton's great. Whereas this Rizzo card, he's got great power, he's got a great swing. But I
Mhm.
mean, that mid 80s contact, not even gold fielding over at first base.
Yeah.
You know, he's a lower overall than the guys that are in the spring cleanup program. Those guys, all
Exactly.
five of those bosses are 93s. This one's a 92. And I could be wrong, but I feel like does Eddie have third base as a secondary position? Let me look. Eddie does not. Okay, never mind. So Eddie does not have third base as a secondary position. So that point is moot. But still, you know, the April player of the month or just player of the months in general should be like that really exciting thing. It's like, oh man, I get to celebrate the past month in baseball. We didn't even know if we were going to have a season for a long time. And
Yeah.
now I get to celebrate this first month. And it's 92 Rizzo. Okay. Well, that's just, it is what it is.
Yeah. Like I said before, like, I don't if you guys are excited about the card, by all means, be excited about the card.
Absolutely.
Plug them in. This is how you get your fun out of the game. Don't let others influence you on how this card is, right? If that name sparks you, go grind it, go get it, and play with that card. Speaking of overall, also, I mean, we literally got a headliner. I think the next or on that day was that the Gary Sheffield when we got to Gary Sheffield, and he's a 93,
Well,
right?
no, was Sheffield?
I wasn't sure if Sheffield was there or, like, the Tuesday after
I don't
or the
remember.
Tuesday before. I don't remember when Sheffield got,
Either way,
released.
Sheffield's great too.
Dude, I'm just letting you know that Sheffield swing is 10 t it's even better this year. I don't know how, but it's even better this year. He
It's
turns
better.
on on
a-
pitches,
a-
it's ridiculous.
And a lot of the good pitchers in the game right now are lefties.
Yeah.
You got Randy, you got Dontrell, you got
I
even bullpen arms like the new Britain. Having a guy like Gary is huge.
I think that also brings to the Rizzo why people were a little, um, just, not
Underwhelmed or
disappointed,
yeah.
yeah, underwhelmed because of what they are facing ranked with all these lefties, being the main, starters that you just named, being part of the rotation, so you see them so many times. But, I mean, there's a RZA card, like you said, has a good swing, balance both ways, where it has 80 contact both ways and 100 power both ways, so,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell for the review just for Rizzo, but we did get plenty of other cards here. Let's first start out with the Tops Now cards. Hey, my Mets threw a no hitter here, Kooks. My
Yes, they
my
did.
Mets threw a no hitter. We first off, we got the supercharge on that particular day where they got the whole bullpen, which I didn't expect. I think we talked about this last week. I wasn't sure it didn't happen last week, but we did get the Tyler McGill. I call him Silor McGill, 86. Pretty much his supercharged card, kind of very similar. We got another player that was supercharged, Willie Adames, where he hit the 2 home runs. It's an 86 overall. I heard great things about that card already. And then Travis oh my gosh, I'm going to botch his name. Demetri? Am I
I
saying that
think
right?
I think it's I think it's
Demetri?
Demeriti. I
Demeriti.
I
That
could
sounds
be
right.
wrong. I have not
Because the
watched a
2
lot of
T's?
Braves baseball.
Demeriti. That sounds smooth off the tongue there. So we'll just go with that. But yeah, we
Braves
got those.
fans, you're probably gonna hate us. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm a Met
You know
fan as
what?
is, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
really matter.
He's a Mets fan. I'm on the West Coast. Whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So we got those 3 for Tops Now. And then we got all the player of month cards. And I do like how they now they review it on the Tops Twitch channel. I think that's pretty cool. It's just like it's different. So a different way to um reveal and then have the Tops guys do the broadcast with them. So I really like that. But yeah, I mean, we got choice packs back though. I mean, this whole program is very different than we once seen it, right? I feel like it's just a mix of what we had from the previous years, and they kind of combine both of them. Yes, we had the 3 different stages. We finally get to once you collect every card, you get up to the Dawson, and then start unlocking the player of month cards. But now you get choice packs for the lower tier. I guess you would call them lower tier, middle tier, and then lightning card. I don't know how you explain it. Um, but let's go over those cards real quick. And do we start out with, even though it's not the 88s, do we start out with what could have been a lightning card as well if you played throughout the whole month? And that's the ward card of yours. I mean,
That's that
jeez.
my you talking about my boy T Dub?
Yeah, man.
What a card, dude. What a card. I mean, Taylor Ward, incredible month. I think now at the time we're recording this, he's actually like qualified for, leading the league and like average and OPS, all that stuff. And he's like number one or number two in almost everything in the AL. So he's still going 9 days into May doing his thing. He's incredible right now.
But
But yeah,
let me
no, this
ask you
card,
though.
what's
Let me
up?
ask you before you get to that. Has he been on the radar for doing like what he's doing right now, or he just came out of nowhere?
He always looked like a guy that was major league ready, but the problem with the Angels is that their outfield was so crowded. Of course, you've got Brandon Marsh and Joe Adell who have been prospects for a bit, and then they
Mhm.
had Justin Upton for a long time. And Taylor Ward came up as a catcher, so like he basically he's so versatile that he can just fit anywhere. But now that they kind of have that outfield opening with sending Joe Adell back down to the minors, he's got consistent playing time and being the leadoff guy. He's
Yeah.
basically everything that I have wanted Joe Adell to be that we just haven't seen Joe Adell do yet. So,
Okay.
he's been around the organization for a bit, so I'm happy to see him having this start. But
Fair
the
enough.
card itself is just incredible. I mean, you have great hitting, contact on both sides higher than Rizzo's, 106 power against righties, which is higher than Rizzo's. The power against lefties is lower. But you talk about the defense, the 72 speed, the fact that he can play catcher plus the corner infield spots with everywhere in the outfield. This is by far the most valuable card in this set. And I'm not talking just as an Angels fan bias. I'm looking at the card, I'm looking at the attributes, I'm looking at the secondary positions.
Yeah.
He is by far the most valuable player in this entire set.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's him, and then if we're just talking about best cards in the set, probably him and the Kyle Wright, because the
Yeah,
Kyle Wright actually looks pretty dope. I mean, the first time we ever I think, Tip said this, the first time we ever had a primary slurve, um
really.
yes, I believe he said that on the top stream. Um, People could quote me in the comments for YouTube if I got that wrong, but I believe he did say that. But yeah, he has a serve, four seamer, sinker, circle change, slider. That serve has 99 pitch break. I mean, and then he has a circle change that has 99 pitch break as well, and the sinker is 97. But he has 97 H per nine for a 90 overall card. Solid, absolutely
Yep.
solid. 99 break, as we just said, stamina 97. Um, is walks per nine a little low with 66, but he has 81 control. So it's a card that you could work with, right?
Yep.
And then with that pitch mix, which is good. So I definitely rank that he's probably the best pitcher, and then Ward probably be the best hitter of the not cards that are lightning cards. However, I do have to bring out Big Jock, right? Because this might be one of the ultimate pitch hitters that you can have on your bench against righties, and that's the 88 Joc Pederson card that we got. And with what is it, 116 power against 115 power against righties with the 106 contact against righties. I mean, you just plug them on your bench, or if you're platooning, say, a first baseman or something like that. Um, I mean, it do you solid.
Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely make the case that Jock is the best player at his position in this entire set just because of what he's there to do. Like, I don't think a lot
Yeah,
of people are actually throwing Jock in their outfield. I think everybody, when they see a Jock Peterson card and they look at those numbers, they're like, oh, yeah, that guy's coming off the bench for me. So I think Jock might be the best guy at what he does for that respective card in this entire set. I mean, he's just uh, silver. Jock Peterson is scary enough, or bronze. I don't know what he is right now, but the
he's
live
silver.
series Jock Peterson is terrifying enough. And then this guy walks in, like, man, it's you better hope you have like zero elevation when you're facing him.
Yeah. Do we had to it's I'm glad that you broke elevation up. Um, Backs elevation stadiums are my biggest pet peeve. probably in this game right now.
Okay,
Legit.
okay.
I just not my biggest, but, like, when it comes to it's just not fun. It isn't for me. I'm just all personal experience. It is just not fun. For others, I can see why, but I don't like I mean, if you're having a back and forth game, right? That's fine, but when it's max elevation, you throw the ball and you flick it, it goes out of the park. It's just, I could go on
Especially
and say
especially with the PCI right now, being able to
yeah,
get to all these pitches out of the
yeah,
zone, you see some
it
crazy homers.
it's bad, man. Alright, I started playing ranked, okay? I'm playing ranked this year, but I'm doing teams. I'm not doing my god squads. So I started with my bronze bandits, where it's just basically an all bronze team. And last night I was streaming, it was the Sandlot, max elevation. Wanna guess the score here? Or guess runs
I don't
combined.
wanna guess. I don't wanna guess. I just wanna
Just give me a
know
rough
because
number of runs combined, I'll give you.
28.
No, it was 38 runs combined.
Oh my god.
I won 21 to 17. It was just I was telling Ellis everyone, I was just like, "I'm not." I sound like I'm complaining because I'm like, I'm just not having fun, because it's so hard to pitch to. Yeah, I'm hitting all these balls like 400 and something feet, but in reality, if it was like a regular stadium, they would not go far at all.
Yep.
But it's just one of those pet peeves. I kinda wish you could limit max elevation to I think the good surrounding areas around like 200 to 3,000 or even 3,500, but the 5,279, it's too much. But then again,
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to be out because it's great for grinding offline.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, I think the two places where I actually love the max elevation stadiums are grinding offline and if you get to legend difficulty. Because,
Okay.
legend is so unforgiving. It's
Yeah.
nice to be able to kind of just not worry so much about being perfect all the time, and then sneak some home runs out. But our guy Clutch just made me a stadium, and the elevation on mine is at 4,000 because I was like, okay,
Okay.
maybe that's a happy medium. You can always adjust the elevation if you start to notice that too many off PCI fly balls are leaving the yard and stuff like that. But starting at 4,000, and then we can adjust from there. But so far, I'm liking it. So far, it's good.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
need to play out that. Shout out to Clutch. He's been making a lot of great stadiums this year. Now you
yeah,
got Bayfront 2.0.
yeah.
He did,
It's
I
great.
loved it, man. I loved how he did the rocks and the water in the left field, and then
Yeah.
he actually used the pier in the perfect way. Like I haven't seen anyone use it in that typical way to make it where it goes out in the water like that. And I'm a sucker for creative stadiums. There was
Yeah.
Tater Tot just made Gotham City for Mills,
Mhm.
and I played that park all yesterday. I was in love. Just love the view that you see when you're hitting, and then also, I really like the dimensions. I don't know what the dimensions were, but I really liked it because when I set it to 3,000, I think I set my elevation to 3,500. It's really far in center, and you have your triples alley. It's I don't know. There's something about the dimensions I really liked. So it worked out. But yeah, definitely check out those two stadiums if you guys are a sucker for creative stadiums like
Yep.
myself. That's all I'm doing this year. I'm just trying out all. Wish we could play at night games. I kind of understand why they don't want to enable that yet, especially with the server issues that we currently have, and then people probably not even put lights in their stadium or something like that. Uh, but
Yeah.
I understand that. So, but I hope eventually we get to see that down the road.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Hopefully.
Yep.
Hopefully down the
All
line.
right. We went a little off tangent, so I'm just going to name the players first of who we got in the program, and then we'll go over the players, and then we'll go over the format of the program itself and what we like about, what we don't like about it. So, let's go to the first one. Another pitcher. I really thought if it like, looking back, if it wasn't Rizzo, I wouldn't mind a lightning card, Pablo Lopez. I mentioned this before, but then again, they probably didn't wanna set the community on fire with everyone using Pablo Lopez,
But they
because
have no room to talk when they put Randy as the live series collection. They can't do that again.
because he would legit take over everyone's rotation, just the way he has the sinker cutter. This is still a solid card for an 88. With the four seam circle change, cutter, sinker, slurve. Doesn't have the 99 break on anything, but circle change has 97 break. He has a serve, sinker. Like we said, he has all the meta pitches that you need. 92 H per nine, 88. That's solid. Once again, his control is a little better than the Kyle Wright with the 86. Velo is not as where it needs to be. It's where 90. But either way, we got Pablo Lopez, and then let's go through the rest of the list. We got closer Jordan Romano. Doesn't I mean, he has the 99 break against his slider here, Cougs, but doesn't really. He's a three pitch pitcher with two fastballs, which don't really um, scream out to me, I should say.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
see.
And, we predicted that he was going to be one of those cards for the month,
Mhm.
but I think we both kind of knew like what type of card he actually is. So, yeah,
Yeah.
he is what he is.
Yep, exactly. The other 88s, we got JP Crawford, which was he was definitely should have been on the list. He was the first of two Mariners on the list. We got Owen Miller, from is that the Red Sox? I always forget. No, not the Red
Guardians.
Sox. Guardians. Yep, Guardians. Meant to say Guardians. And then Victor Arano from the Nationals. And then for the other 290, well, actually the other 90, because we already went over Kyle Wright and Taylor Ward, Ty France, the other Mariner. So um, those are your player of month cards that you got through. Before we go over any others that you might like, do you think there was any snubs that should have got a player of month card, like at these lower tier levels?
Lower tier. Well, I guess you could say Logan Gilbert, even though the
Yeah.
Mariners did already get two player of the months with JP Crawford and Ty France. I mean, Logan Gilbert won pitcher of the month, and I sure he can probably get a great card later, especially if he keeps dealing. Maybe he ends up getting a finest card for them. But like right now, a usable Logan Gilbert would be pretty cool to have. Other than that, no, I don't know if I would say, or if I can think of any like major snubs off the top of my head. I feel like they did a decent job, and other than, I guess other than J Ram, but we already kind of talked on that. So.
Yeah. Not like for like anyone that's already diamond the game for a life series. I mean,
Yeah,
they're not going to get the lower tier cards as is. That's my only one that I thought Logan Gilbert, but they might have something planned with future stars, right? So he could get a
yeah,
nice
you never
other
know.
future star card to come back. I think he already had one last year. Um, I think he did. Don't I feel like
He,
I did. I feel like I
yes, he had
remember.
a future stars. He did. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like he did have one. So we might see that return sooner than later. So those are the cards. I mean, I didn't guess Owen Miller. That's the only one that really surprised me. Everyone else I thought was there, and then I realized Owen Miller did have a good month, batting over 400 total. Had 14 hits, 9 runs in a 6 game stretch in that month of May. I mean April. So
That'll play.
yeah, that'll do good. All right. Do you want to go? I kind of want to give it to you about the grind of player a month. Because like I said, I looked at Rizzo and I kind of didn't want to. I didn't want to do the grind. I'm plain and simple. I didn't want to do the grind. I didn't feel like putting my hours into it. But I did see what you need to do. I will ask the first question. What do you think of them returning with choice packs for player of the month cards and being sellable too?
Well, I think the return of the choice packs are good. I mean, I think you know I, the thing is, last year you just got the cards just from
Yeah.
playing. Um, I'm okay with the choice packs if they're all going to be the same overalls. You just kind of choose the guy you want, and then if you don't like him, you can sell him and get the other one. But to me, that doesn't really matter all that much, um, because like you need to. It's like you're gonna need to buy some of these guys regardless. Like I don't even
Yeah.
know how to start this. So when you were starting off the podcast, you were talking about you didn't feel like putting the time, the hours into this. I think that's the big thing here with this player of the month set is because if Anthony Rizzo was a 92 overall Lightning card, but had the same type of grind that we had last year with Buxton, I don't think it would be as big of a deal as it is. The issue is that this grind takes significantly longer than the Byron Buxton or any of the player of the month grinds from MLB 21. This grind
Yep.
with the mix of uh the choice packs and the parallel XP missions makes this such a more tedious MLB 18 level grind where it feels like a career arc or an immortal. So let me just go to this program so I can talk about it. So like first off, stage one, you
Mhm.
had to do all the moments. You got all the moments and the tops now mission. You had to do whatever. You collect all of them. Blah blah blah. You move on to stage two. Okay, whatever. Stage two, you have another set of moments. I don't know how many it is. Maybe like 12, 15 moments, something like that. And then after that, then you have to start getting these parallel XP missions done. And the thing is, these parallel XP missions, like if you compare them to a mission last year, like let's say last year you have player of the month, I don't know, Mike Trout, for example. Let's just say him. You'd get that player of the month, Mike Trout, from the program. And then you unlock a mission that says get 5 hits with Mike Trout, get 5 extra base hits, whatever. You put him at the top of your lineup. You go into a game. You don't get an extra base hit. Oops, I quit out. I reload, get in there. The thing with the parallel XP is that you don't get the progress for the parallel XP unless you get through 8 hitters
Yep.
or like 3 innings or you win the game, something like that. So hitters take so much longer to get these parallel stats with. Whereas pitchers, you can get them pretty quick. The pitcher parallel XP is pretty easy. I don't mind that. So I think with the fact that the uh the parallel XP that you have to get, the amount of parallel XP you have to get, plus the fact that this collection kind of sucks. Like
Mhm.
there's just so many things about this that make it so not worth it. But at the same time, it still might be worth it because you might want to hold on to these cards for collections. You might need them for collections when one eventually comes out. But then you get through all of that. Let's say you buy some cards on the market, you do the collection, whatever, and you get your 92 Anthony Rizzo. The fact that stage three has 4 choice packs, 3 of them are the 88 overall, and then one is the 90 overall. Why are these non-sellable? Like I don't understand the idea of these being non-sellable, especially if you have to get all of these cards and do XP missions with them. Like why are they not sellable at the end? Why don't give people a chance to make some stubs off this program, especially if it's the people that got there first and put in a lot of hours right when it came out. The fact that stage 3 is like basically not even worth it once you get Rizzo is kind of whack in my opinion. So
Okay.
there's a lot of reasons why I don't think this um player of the month set is nearly as user friendly, as exciting as the last year. And I think a main portion, I think the biggest thing is the grind. To me, it's not the Rizzo, it's not the scaling back of the overall.
Yeah.
To me, it's the grind. The grind is just, it asks you to do, I think, way too much for something that doesn't feel like it's worth what it's asking you to do.
Yeah. I think that's why I didn't wanna do it. Just, I mean, when I know I could put a feasible player as well into it, and then just, like, maybe I could do something else to get so much more XP to finish out the main program besides doing just this April thing and just pulling out my hair. Like, once you said the stuff about the MLB 18 stuff, 'cause I you weren't the only one that said about it. It felt like the mortal grind and a career arc grind. Yeah, that's not gonna cut it for me.
Yeah, no,
I don't
it
wanna
really
go
did
back
feel
to
like
those
that.
days. I do not wanna go back to those days.
And I
Um,
think I think Shelfie made a video talking about it and giving his thoughts. I think Shelfie made a really good point. It's not, people don't get frustrated with CPU grinding. That's not the problem. The
mhm,
problem is the type of grinding. The parallel XP missions are just boring. They are monotonous. They're just, you're basically just tallying up at bats. That's why it feels more like an immortal grind where, the mission grinds of just getting like 5 hits, you can plug them in. If you get the hits, you can then take them out or quit out of the game or whatever. Like it
yeah,
just feels so repetitive. Give us fresh stuff to grind. Like I wouldn't even mind if they had a monthly awards conquest. That's at least
mhm,
something different to do than just the parallel XP grinding over and over and over again.
yeah,
That's
and I
one of the
get
biggest things.
you have to pick and choose where you have those missions because I believe I like them in BR though. I do like them
Yeah,
in BR.
100%.
You just had to pick and choose where to put them, and right now it's just not working for the monthly program. That hey, one thing, and we will always say this: they do listen and they'll make adjustments. We already seen what they did through that the live content team already did throughout this year, by asking for more than 600 XP. What they did do, they gave us 750. So they are listening.
Yeah, I
This is a
think this will be tweaked. Not
yeah,
not this one, but I think for May,
for
it
May,
will
yes,
be
yeah,
tweaked to be more user
exactly.
friendly. But I do wanna ask you the question, Scuffy. This program took me about 4.5 hours of straight CPU grinding,
Uh huh.
whereas Buxton last year took me an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. If this grind was the same length as the grind from last year, would you then think
Yeah,
about it a little bit
yeah,
more?
hands down,
That's there you go. I think that's the thing. For
hands down.
somebody who doesn't like doing the grinding, the fact that it takes so long is really what's turning a lot of people off.
Because I eventually want to get the collection, like, because that should be coming out soon, whether that's next week or the week after. Usually, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's coming out soon because we don't know what their timeline is, but if we're going based off last year, right? We got it pretty much, I think the 1st or 2nd week of May, where they dropped Mo. So it should be here soon. So, but now I know I'm gonna have to go back and pretty much do it if I want to get like say the lightning cards. Um, Everyone else I could buy off the market. But then again, I'm going to have to have must stubs, and that's just a whole different story there. But yeah, if it's go back to your original point, if it was like last year, I would hands down already did it or been close to it. Um,
Yeah, and I've also seen some people say like, you know, isn't it good that it takes a little bit longer? It's not something that you can just blow through right away. Like it kind of takes a little bit of time. If you kind of grind it naturally, you'll get it, through time or whatever. And it's like, well,
mhm,
let's say Rizzo was the best first baseman. Let's say he was the best player at his position. Do you really want to like have something last throughout the month that you'll be grinding when in a month somebody else might take over him as the
yeah,
first baseman? If he's the best first baseman in the game, I want to go out of my way to do that grind and get the best first baseman in the game. I think the fact that Rizzo is not the best first baseman plus the heavy grind, the sentiment towards the April monthly awards is just it's not good. It's not great right
yeah.
now. And
That's
and and even when you see some people like replying to MLB the Show's tweets, I think it was Digital Champion made a funny tweet saying like, you know, oh, my wife and kids left me, but I finally got Anthony Rizzo. Like I finally finished it. It's just like, man, the fact that it's become a meme now should just say like, yeah, this takes forever.
yeah. I mean, you never want to give off the vibes that MLB 18 has gave us, right?
Yeah.
Um, and we actually could even segue into hitting. I mean, a lot of people are saying the gameplay wise, I don't see it personally.
No.
That it's saying that uh this whatever 22 gameplay. I think it's just people are just frustrated of
And that's
how
okay.
yeah, that's okay. I mean, you're just you're allowed to vent. It's what they see in the game, and it leads to changes, right?
Mhm.
So we can only hope that with the hitting stuff, we actually have a talking top about the hitting where they released the April hitting data. And to be honest with you, this is not going to be the longest subject. If you look at it, it's on the show.com. They do it after every month. Um, they it's pretty much the same data like the the perfects are around like 800 or something like that. Usually it is. But one thing that did alarm me here, Kooks, is the legend. So if you look at legend and you look at the data for where is it again? It's I don't know why it's not published on like as their latest news.
I'm just looking at Scan's tweet.
Yeah, I gotta look at Scan's tweet. But if you look at Scan's tweet, he put if you look at the good, okay, and I think good week, 'cause they show that for Legend, you can see that there's a better average in Legend than there is on, uh on other difficulties. Like, I think Legend, you're hitting 183 for good, okay, and good week, and that's supposed to be, like, the hardest difficulty, right? You
Yeah.
want that bad input to be less average, I feel like.
Yeah.
Is that weird to say? Like, if you're going to compete at the highest level and you're getting someone that's not swinging the bat, that's not making the greatest contact, and it's still dropping, more than other difficulties, it just feels weird.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. But
So
and these we've seen charts like this of in previous years saying like, oh, this is the batting average for perfect perfect, this is the batting average for good good, and all this stuff. I never really put a lot of stock into this stuff because this is legitimately taking all of the data in the game and compiling it into one number. And I don't think that one number really will tell the story of how a player to player
yeah.
experience is. At the end of the day, I I hate to say these three words in this order, but it is baseball where there is going to be variance in every game. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that as an excuse that SDS hasn't had some issues with their hitting engine. They obviously have. Um, it's just for me, I look at these numbers and nothing stands out to me. Everything looks the way it should look, but I also
Mhm.
know how my experience goes. And sometimes these numbers don't match my experience. And so I'm not I don't really like to put a lot of stock into those numbers.
Oh, yeah. I actually got frustrated, like, for the first time, like, really the other day, but I just know it's a one-off type of game where all my outs like, the PCI rating, if you guys don't know, you could look at the PCI rating, and if you're in, like, say, anything above, like, 11 like, 10 you make a somewhat good contact, and all my outs were like 11 above and 3 perfect outs, and I lost the game by like 1 run. That's just me being frustrated at the time, but it's just I would like to see that too, like the PCI rating, and just have them explain it a little bit more because we feel like it's anything that's like in the higher teens is a really good contact, and then perfect, like I guess it would be like 16 because it only goes up to 15. I like the little more explanation of what that is. Also, looking at the data here, I feel like the exit velos were kind of down.
Let me
Like you
see.
looked
Let me
at
pull it
line
back up.
drive, it's
Line
like
drive, exit velo.
91, 93. I feel like a good like Statcast puts like a good hard, like good line drive at like 95 plus. I don't know.
Hmm.
I this is me not really backing up with any data. This is just me assuming, which I shouldn't assume, but it just feels when you look at the data, it feels like the exit velos are down.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's this stuff is not something I'm going to put too much stock into. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be reading that and go into a game and then get a perfect out and be like,
And
oh,
then just
830
mark it
average.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I
it's just
do
not worth
wish
it.
yeah, it's not. I do wish when they put that this data out, they put out if they're gonna have, like, update with hitting, right? Like, not just
Yeah.
have this data and not have anything like explained, "Oh, this is what we're planning to do for hitting," or, "We like where hitting is at right now. We don't see a fix coming up soon." Like, just something to communicate with the data, not just throw the data out there where other, members of the community have questions about the gameplay engine like the hitting engine as is. So it'd be kinda cool if they could put that together. That's my pretty much only critique, um, really about it, just have something else goes with it, but that's here or
Yeah.
there. We'll
Feel
see
you.
what happens down the road. Um, let's see. We kind of went off a tangent there. I mean, we kind of went over the player program throughout there. I think another big change when we'll say it like we said it last week was Andre Dawson, right? We kind of wish Andre Dawson was you'll be able to either get a little bit quicker or they just don't. I think you had a good idea. Don't even reveal that card and let it be like up to the level as the lightning card for the legend, and then to be able to have 2 cards pretty much at the rip, right?
Or
You
I,
think
I
that
would even say, reveal them a week before and
yeah,
let people, or not even like put them in the game a week before. Let people kind of get a little bit of a taste of some fun player of the month content a week before the live series Lightning comes out. Like that would be really cool. So but just don't put them in there on the first day of the month or on whenever the May monthly awards, whatever. Don't put the lightning card, the legend lightning card in there and show us who it is and then have us wait 3 or 4 weeks to get him. Like, I don't think anybody likes that.
and then, to be honest with you, I probably want to use that Gary Sheffield off that Andre Dawson,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, they
Dawson
kind of
looks
released the card before we even could
yeah,
use it.
and don't get me wrong, Dawson does not look bad. Dawson's a very
No,
solid outfielder, but, like,
even that David Justice,
yeah,
that's 2
I
cards.
that's 2 cards right there and both corner outfielders too. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just wasn't
Yeah,
feeling it.
I know. We'll see. We'll see what type of adjustments they make for May, and we'll go over that. It's can't really say like what to expect until we see how they adjust if they do, and then I'm sure if they don't, we'll be a little bit more um not harsh, but a little bit more on top of it. Like, okay, are we doing something here, or
Yeah.
if this is just how it's going to be for this year? But anyway, let's move on. We got new content coming this week. I mean, we already spent like almost like a half hour on player program, 40 minutes already. Jeez. Uh,
Insane.
and here I thought, I mean, we always think this way. Here I thought we weren't even going to get our episode in. But anyway, let's go over. Oh no, actually, before we do that, we did have a new event during the player month program, and that included Bumgarner, a tops. I like how they're doing this, bringing back like classic tops now cards. One with Bumgarner when he hit the 2 home runs, and then Story with his crazy first week being 91 overall. So we got those 2 new. I swear, man, Event Awards actually like they took that at heart last year when we said Event Awards were like not the greatest. They're putting some decent cards out there,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think. So I definitely like the addition between Story. I mean, Story only has shortstop for his primary. I don't think he has a secondary position. Um, but I mean, decent all around. 69 content gets right. He's probably his only critique, but still that's usable. Um, especially during this time of year. 80 contact against lefties, 91 in power against righties, 88 against lefties, very balanced. And of course, he's going to have that speed with the 87 speed, the fielding diamond defense with the 92 fielding. I mean, not bad at all. And then we get the Baumgartner, who of course is going to have the hitting attributes. Just like, it reminds me of the Signature Series Baumgartner, right?
Yeah.
Um, pretty much similar attributes where he has 65 power against righties and 69 against lefties. And it's quite the timing was great, right? Because we saw last week in real life of Bumgarner getting injected in the first inning after he had the dispute against the umpire, and the umpire was just waiting for
Oh, yeah, that was
him
so
to say a
weird.
word and then just throw him out there. But yeah, I thought the timing there was great, ironically. But yeah, that Baumgart is great. I mean, we just went over the hitting, lower velo, but that's how he always is. He'll have the cutter, sinker, sweeping curve, circles, change, fastball. And of course, I feel like lefty pitchers are being more dominant than righties this year. So
Yep.
worth a shot.
Yeah,
Have you tried any
definitely.
of those?
No, I have not yet. I haven't gotten around to it. I played a little bit of the event today, um, when I was streaming, but no, I haven't gotten to trying out any of them yet.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I haven't either. I expect to use that story once I see him in BR or something like that. I always love his swing, so can't go wrong there. All right.
Yep.
We went over the. Oh, now we get to the new content. Oh no, actually, first off, we got headliner as well. Last week we got Prime Cookie, New York Met legend, or should I say Guardians legend too? 93 Prime card. Perfect time to release them. Once
Very
again,
good. Yep.
they were doing good when releasing these type of headliners when they're doing it. So I can't say anything about that. I mean, I can't say anything more about that. Just another fantastic card to release at the right time. Um, I mean, I before he even was met, I loved using him because he just pitched from the stretch, and then he had the sinker, so you had to like a meta pitch in there, and he just easy. I loved. I might be. I'm not sure. I feel like a lot of people thought they could hit up the lightning cookie card back in the day, but I loved that card, when he was released, and then he came back for a classic card as a lightning card, whether that was last year or 20, I forget. I think it was 20.
Yeah, I think so.
I
Yeah.
think it was 20.
Yeah.
Regardless, I was a big fan of cookie cards, so I was happy to see that.
Yeah, and I mean he's got a nice pitch mix. You know, the hits per nine being at 82 isn't great, but I mean 99 break. You look at the control high 90s control on two of his pitches, 99 break on the changeup and the slider. Like, very solid pitcher. Is he going to last in a lot of rotations? Probably not. But like you said, that's why right now is the best time to release him.
Yeah, yeah, you probably could sneak it through a few wins off him,
Yeah.
especially for ranked, and then go from there. I mean, and then of course for theme teams later on, and then you already have him in your inventory. He goes for cheap. I gotta say, all these headliners, I don't even think it's worth buying these packs. They literally go for like 20 to 26K.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really, I don't think I've bought a headliner since maybe the first one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten any of them since then. I've
Dude,
used a couple of them, but the packs, nah.
even the program bosses, man, they're going for cheap. I bought 2 of them before I even got my first pack.
Really?
Yeah, I bought Britain, and then I brought Gary Sheffield because I was playing co-op. Oh, this is good. I wanted to bring up co-op. I tried co-op for the first time. I think this was Saturday night. So I went to the movies with my buddies to see Doctor Strange. And then I was like, all right. They were talking about wanting me to show it to me. It's funny because they've been my friends for almost 20 years. And now they see me with streaming for the past 5 years, so they always wanna talk on movie show. I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." Like, I'm always up to it.
Fine by
Um,
me, yeah.
yeah, and now I was like, "Yo, let's just co-op tonight. If we're doing nothing, after the Ranger game, we'll co-op and play some games." So, me and my buddy, got on a little earlier than my other buddy, so we're doing 2 versus 2. I legit we got into games just fine, for the 2 versus 2. Had a blast. He had a blast too because he doesn't really play online, right? He plays offline. He just strictly offline, but it was cool to, like, talk to them about it and then actually, like, team up, right? And then we're like, "Okay, what card can we try out next?" Because we're doing Diamond Dynasty. So I was like, "Alright, let me buy Britain, let me buy Gary Sheffield," and it was cool. And what happens in our 2nd game, he walks it off with Gary Sheffield. I
Oh,
thought
that's
that
so
was
cool.
kinda cool, man. I was like, "Whoa, that's pretty dope." So it was kinda cool. The only downside is we tried to do 3 versus 3 Diamond Dynasty, didn't work at all.
Hmm.
And that was a little disappointing. Like, tried multiple different games, different captains, and we know it's been having issues, but there just has been no communication on that either. I know it's a new mode, but kind of hope we get that fixed out because I had a blast. I really did. I think we all did. And then we seen it with the tech test, how everyone had a blast with it. But it just doesn't feel stable. So
Mhm. Yeah,
either way, I
and,
hope.
it goes back to what they said in the future premieres when they were talking about co-op. Is this gonna be a ranked mode? Is there gonna be any rewards attached to this? And they were
Yeah.
like, "No. We wanna make sure this mode works," because how frustrating would it be if right now we had a 92 card that looked pretty good that was behind the co-op ranked rewards and the mode has so many issues, doesn't really work. It's like, got to make sure it's all sound and good to go first. So honestly, I haven't really touched co-op. That thing you said with Sheffield though, that sounds super cool, and I think that's one of the coolest things about co-op, and one of the
Mhm.
things that SDS has been the most excited for, just moments like that. But once it starts working, I'm sure I'm going to dabble into it a little bit more because I remember having a blast with it in the tech test.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just like, just talking the crap, and then playing the game in the background because you do have downtime, but then again, it's like good downtime because you could just talk to your buddies, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just like a normal night. We're just kicking back, playing games, see what we could do, and yeah, it was kinda crazy how he was the one that got Gary Chef, and it was a blast too. I was like, and I'm not gonna say he's the best player, but, he's one of those that is still adjusting with the PCI, and he
Yeah.
swings at almost everything, and then he connects someone. So you hear his excitement, and then he tells me the next day how much, like, that was a blast. I was like, "Yeah, man." So but like you said, I do agree. I'm happy they didn't put anything towards it. I do wish you could get XP though. Just
Yeah,
like
that'd be nice.
that'd be pretty nice. I mean, you're not playing against other friends, you're just playing against other randoms. Wish you could get XP so you get something, but that's a little nitpick. But anyway, cookie headliner. There we go. Now this week, we tomorrow, Kooks, could this be the day? Could this be the day where we get Mr. Delgado? I
Man.
hope so. I hope, dude. I the thing is, I gotta save all my stubs, because I'm not buying a 50 bundle because it's gonna be the new chase pack, and, they showed a picture today, it's a left-hander hitter, and it looked like it was at Rogers Center, but it looked a little thin to be Carlos Delgado, but still, I'm hoping it's Carlos Delgado being, revealed tomorrow, and it's a 97 overall with the anime series, so we're not done with the anime series, which I thought was great.
Yeah, that is great, and that's one thing I think I don't know if you and I talked about it on the podcast or what, but, like, I really hoped that they would continue to add more of that, anime series, and, we're getting a 97,
Yeah,
97 overall, like, that's crazy. I did see some people on Twitter saying it might be Hideki Matsui,
yeah.
just with the way it looked and the stance and everything, so, I mean, I don't wanna bring your excitement level down at all, but I did see some people saying that, um, yeah, no, if it is Delgado, I'm gassing. I'm with you. I'm not buying a 50 bundle. I am just buying that card outright and throwing him right in my rank seasons lineup.
Yeah, I expect him I mean, Pujols went up to, I think, like, 100K, right?
Mhm.
When he first dropped, so I'm hoping around there. Luckily, this is humble brag right here. I went flawless the other day, so I have some stubs, so
Nice.
that I'm happy about that. Yeah, it's kinda crazy because it was on the night that the Mets came back on the Phillies, right? So
Yep.
the 7-run comeback in the ninth. I had to come back in my 11-0 game down by 3 in the 3rd. So it was
Ooh,
like, was that coincidence? I don't know, but, it was kinda cool.
it was
Um,
electric that night.
oh, yeah, it was. There's nothing like it. There's still nothing like it to go 12-0 in this game. But either way, yeah, I'm saving my subs. I almost bought a couple cards, but now I'm happy I didn't because if it's Staccato, I mean, I'm buying him straight out. I mean, I probably won't be using him in ranks, but I just wanna know he's in my inventory. That's all I care
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that we have looked out for tomorrow. I believe we get some spotlight moments as well, that give you some XP for the new program. So be on the lookout for that, especially if you're still grinding the new program. And then 2 days later on Thursday, we get the moonshot part two. This is probably gonna be like part 10 of moonshots this year, the way it's already
Yeah.
coming back. But yeah, moonshot's back. I kind of wish they'd do a different stadium. Um, just do Laughing Mountain. Why not?
Yeah, put it in a minor league park. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Like, something like that, you know? Laughing Mountain, but then again, people might abuse Laughing Mountain because in the daytime I should not be saying this, but people do that. I won't say when,
That's true.
but
That's true. I
the
didn't even think
daytime,
about that.
people might, abuse that, especially with a lefty up there. Um, but anyway, Moonshot comes back. We'll probably get some new rewards there, so I'm curious who that'll be. Hopefully, some other power hitters there. And then on Friday, we get more content, other program with packs and legend hitter. That's pretty much what they said it. My guess, I think both our guesses is player program type. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that they wouldn't say just like basic player program, but yeah, I mean, it says there's a hitter that's going to be in there, so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Tops now, of course, with moments, headliners set 13, and double XP is making its way back. So there's a lot of stuff to look forward to on the weekend and throughout the week. Nothing big, but then I think the biggest thing is going to be tomorrow. See whoever that chase pack is, especially in being new legend. So that's going to be kind of cool. And then on Friday, we get our second roster update for the year. Not the best of who's gonna be going where. We did get the first biggest one was, with all the up and downs that we got for the first one with the diamonds going, to gold and gold to diamonds. I can't think of anyone off rip that would be like, you had to invest in now
Yeah, it's
to
hard
gold
to
diamond or
say.
something. Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to say. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a decent one. Maybe Pablo Lopez. I think
Okay.
he's
Yeah,
still dealing. I think he's
he
around
is
an
still
82.
dealing. The lowest ERA, so why not?
He might
Um,
be a good one to hang on to. I know Chapman has actually looked pretty good this year.
yes.
I don't
He
think
hasn't gave up a run.
he hasn't or
No.
he has.
No, he hasn't.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's another guy to keep your eye on. And dude, another one that wouldn't be a terrible investment, maybe Josh Bell.
Yeah.
82 overall. He's hitting like around like 350, I want to say, or something like that, 330. He hit a home run against the Angels this past weekend. He's an 82. I could see him maybe sneaking up there, especially with the Nationals only having a guy like Juan Soto as their lone diamond. It's possible.
Not bad, yeah. I never thought he'll be like a candidate going diamond, especially with his fielding, but the way he's hitting right now, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah,
Also, good one maybe from silver to gold. Maybe Zach Gallen. Zach
Zach Gallen.
Gallen's
How about that
phenomenal right
trade,
now,
man? How about that trade? It's probably
working
like
out for
one of the
everybody.
biggest win-win ever.
Working out for everybody.
Yeah, and there's nothing like jazz too, so I like it though. If you miss, the Diamondbacks and, Marlins played, I think it was a week and a half ago, and, Zach Gallen pitched, and he pitched a hell of a game, and he held, like, Jazz hitless, and
Yeah,
they
yeah,
ended
yeah.
yeah, I thought that was great, where
I
he's
saw
just
that.
I thought that was great. I mean, it's out of their hands who gets traded for who, but I like that little competitiveness,
Yeah, it's gonna be
between
that
that.
that little competition for sure.
Yeah. So, another silver to gold, maybe. I'm just beyond the Mets bias, but Drew Smith, still has to give a run over 12 innings as well. He just went to silver though, so I don't see him going gold just yet, but he could be a nice investment if he continues the way, that he's going. And I'm not gonna lie, Edwin Diaz, man, he's been lights out for us, and he's already gold. But that's just my Mets bias, so I gotta give you a little update on that. But how
Yeah,
about it before we get off? I mean, our team's in first place. Both of our
both
teams.
teams. You guys, I think, we're the first team in baseball to get to 20 wins.
Yeah,
I think the
it's
Angels are at 19 right now. They have a chance to make it 20. I think they actually just started. Yeah, that they're playing Tampa. They got a tough series against Tampa, but hey,
oh, okay. So they
Tampa is
ju and
also
they
like,
ju
go
Tampa
ahead.
just lost big time. Well, not big time, but they just lost off a walk-off yesterday,
Yep,
so,
to the
they've been
Mariners.
Mariners. Yep. What were you gonna say, though? I cut you off.
Oh, I was gonna say they're also creeping up on 20 wins as well.
Yep,
So it's gonna
yep.
be one of those series, man. Two good teams going at it.
I liked it yesterday with Rodon, man, walking off against his former team.
Yeah, it was pretty
Just
cool. Pretty
Connie's
cool.
speed, man, is so underrated. It really is.
It's one of the
Because
biggest
you
things about his game too.
yeah, because that throw by Victor Robles was on the money,
It was very good.
and Ohtani just got in there. I mean, he's like 6'2" player. He's not a 5'2" player.
Yeah, pretty
He
much.
really is. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today. I mean, this week, I guess. We have more stuff to talk about next week. We'll have the roster update. I'm sure we'll talk about all the new cards. Starting out tomorrow with the new chase card. If it's the Gato, I'll give you my full 101 because
I can't wait.
I will make sure whether it's ranked or it probably won't be ranked, but I'll probably draft until I get them in BR multiple
You
times
have to.
this week. So I'm very excited to try it out if it is him. But if it's Godzilla too, I'd be excited to try out Godzilla.
Yeah.
Because if he gets a 97 here, he still could get a 99 if he gets a postseason card because he had one
Yeah,
of the
true.
fantastic World Series ever. That could be Seeker like. If he gets like a 99 card. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll talk about next week. But Cougs, been a pleasure, my man, as always. We'll be
As
back here
always,
next
man,
week.
it's a great show this week.
Yeah, man. Of course, any week. Be on the lookout. I do have a couple things coming to the YouTube channel later this week or something early next week. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Might be just a little thing to add to the channel. So be on the lookout for there. That's youtube.com/inside the show. We are on Twitter as well, twitter.com/inside the show PC. Follow us over there. We'll have a new BR cheat sheet coming out this weekend once we get the new roster update and so on. But yeah, follow my boy Kooks at Kooks46 on Twitter. Find all socials there. I'm at Scuffy McGee TV. We'll catch you guys next week on Inside the Show. You guys have fun grinding wherever you're doing. Go hit some dingers in the next Moonshot event, and we'll catch you guys next week on Inside the Show. Peace out.